Welcome back to 40 Years of Hip Hop, where hip hop lives and where we review 1,000 songs over the span of 40 years, 1979 to 2019. So, what you got, my man Ron? Today's your pick. What you got for us?
Indeed, today is a Ron pick. And today, guys, we have something that is pretty special. Pretty special. A little delicacy for the ears, I might say. From Brooklyn, I bring you Digable Planets with their song Rebirth of Slick, Cool Like That in brackets, from the album Reaching a New Refutation of Time and Space that came out in 1992. Man, the name of that album? And that's what's up today. We're gonna get into something that's a little artistic. Are you ready? Let's do this.
Before we dive into this review, this month we're giving away a limited edition Funko Pop Notorious B.I.G. figurine. All you have to do is subscribe, like, or leave a comment to have a chance to win. But just subscribe basically. Also, check out our premium apparel store that we have. A few t-shirts there with original artwork coming and more coming on our way. And it's all drawn by Mr. Ron, the premium artist designer. And you like cool artwork, but then check out our 40 Years of Hip Hop displayed. These are Metallic posters that we just started, and like the teas, more are coming on the way. Our first official collabo is with the 1804 brand. It's 1804 the movement, and we're rocking their caps and beanies, and we have a few to draw for all to the people that subscribes to our posts. Okay, thank you. So, what you got for us as far as originality?
Rebirth of Slick. So let me tell you a little bit how I discovered that song. In our far northern land, we were in the 90s, in the early 90s, okay, 1993, we were allowed to have a hip hop show at our station in Montreal, Quebec called Music Plus. And we had this guy, a little bit of a clown if you ask me, hosting our show called Hip Hop. And once a week we had one hour of hip hop, and this is how I discovered Digable Planets with their song Cool Like That. Something that is rather rare. And it dawned to me, originality. Is this song original? I'll tell you why. I really felt that these guys were artists, not rappers. They were artists. They weren't flexing on the mic. They weren't bragging or boasting how nice that they were. They were on some old level abstract shit, you know? And I really felt that the first time I listened to the song, it took me aback a little bit. Like, what's happening? You know? Another thing that I really enjoy about how I feel like this group is really original, I find the role of Mecca the Ladybug. She was part of the crew, okay? She wasn't like a sex symbol. She was wearing baggy clothes and she still looked hot, you know? And the approach, the subjects that they touch, they were never really touched in hip-hop before. I'll give you an example now. It's not the song that we're reviewing. They had this song called Femme Fatale. And I was like, this is like some poetry, you know? For me, this song is original because it is artistic, it is jazzy, it is poetic, and am I guilty of the 5 varieties? Because I give it a 5 for originality, man. What's up with that? I give it a 5.
Wow, he's already caught the 5 varieties, you know? So, yeah, originality. Like you mentioned, the song's called Cool Like That. It's really pretty original, you know? Mm-hmm. And the fact it's called the Rebirth of Slick, had it a more appealing to it, you know? And you were like, yo, it's really slick when you looked at the video, the way, and the video itself was simple in black and white, and it was like a spoken poetry live event with jazz musicians playing, you know, and they were cool like that, you know, just, and they came out of nowhere with that new jazz rap and alternative sound also, you know. In 92, it really was amazing. Fun fact, did you know that the trio started collaborating only in 1989?
Oh.
Because the first demo of Digable Planets was consisting of Butterfly and only with two other rappers, you know? And it's only, that's when he was shopping the demo. And it's 89, he met the other two and he said he dropped the other two dudes and he went with Ladybug and Doodlebug, you know? So, as far as originality, I'm not as generous as Ron. I'll go with a 4.
Well, of course you're not, because they're not from Queensbridge.
That's not it.
You know?
That's not it.
But I feel you. I feel you, my brother. Next up, delivery and lyrics. You know, delivery which consists of lyrics and flow. Oh, man. So, you know what? I'm just gonna go with my quotable. Like 60s funky worms with waves and perms, just sending junky rhythms right down your block. We be to rap what key be to lock.
Nice.
Man, these guys are from like another planet. You know, these guys are from another planet. However, if someone steps to Butterfly or the Doodlebug or Mecca, are they going to be able to hold their, you know, own on a freestyle? I don't know. You know, I don't know. Also, I find sometimes the cadence, not the words, because the words are fantastic, but the cadence sometimes I find is a little lazy. It also kind of like blends with their style, you know, which is very laid back. But at times it could look like it's a little bit of a lackluster. You know, it doesn't have like enough oomph, you know. And for these reasons, in delivery, which consists of lyrics and flow, I give it a 3. What you gotta say about that, my man?
Yeah, I'm surprised, a 3. I was expecting really far more from you. I know.
Absolutely not, because I'm fair.
Fair, wow.
You know, I'm fair.
There's fair and there's dementia too. There's fairness. So for me,
I am close to dementia in my old age. I am close to dementia,
you know,
but not yet.
For me, it's rare to find a group or a band with MCs of equal status skills. Most of the times, you always have one that outshines the other, or you know, it's never balanced. They all, usually groups and bands mostly, they fit, but it's never balanced. You gotta always have one you prefer. And Digable Planets is hard to choose because it's like they put their ego aside and they said, let's perform all as unison, you know? It's not like you had leaders of the new school. Busta Rhymes was like, wow, you know, Charlie Brown, you know, so he outshined the guys and it created, you know, what we know, you know, and you see, they blended perfectly on themselves. Each on their songs, each had their own flavors and styles. And both guys,
they did.
Both guys were skilled MCs in a pool of 1,000 great MCs in the hip hop world, you know. And it was hard for them to stand out because they were skilled as many skills MCs. But Ladybug Mecca, what's great is because as a female artist with skills, it doesn't run the streets. You either have those that are looking good and you know they sell their persona, the sexiness, but they don't have any skills. But to find a female MC with real skills, like Illmatic skills, it's rare, you know. And another thing, I never quite understood why she never came out in any top list, top 10, top 20 list of female MCs. You always hear the same name.
Say it, my brother.
You know, I don't understand people. You always hear like Missy, Lauryn Hill. Don't get me wrong, they are good, but I don't see them as MCs. There was Lisa Lopez, Left Eye too. They put them on top 10, top 20 list, but they're not MCs. They rapped. No. They're singers that raps. They were entertainers, but they were not they couldn't go bars to bars, you know. So I never quite understood. Lauryn Hill, yeah, she displayed a lot of skill, but she never did an album, a rap album, you know. She never did.
I agree.
So to me, Ladybug Mecca, she's in the top. She should be on everybody's top 10 list. It's because people don't know her or never, because of the style, the jazz, fusion, alternative hip hop. I think that's what killed it for her, you know. I would say, you know, top of my head, here's my top 5. You know, I gotta give it to you. Top 5 female MCs.
Drop it, my man. Drop it.
MCs of all time. I got no particular order. I got MC Light, Raw Digger, Bahamadia, Ladybug Mecca, and Ciroc the MC. That's my top 5. I say that my top 5, you know?
Oh, okay. I see it. I see it. And you know what? I'll raise you another 5 on the next review. I'll get back at you. That's for real, my brother.
So to finish this section of delivery, lyrics, and flow, we'll keep that for another episode, the top 5 MCs. It's going to be something we're going to come up in the future. In the end,
For sure.
in the end, this song didn't fully display the lyrical abilities of Digable Planets to me. They had 4 better songs with better lyrics. Don't forget, this was a commercial stint, you know, to get them. It was
the hot single.
You know, they didn't perform, because if you hear what the guys did afterward, it was ill. And to me, it was one of the weakest link in their short repertoire. So I give it a 4.5.
Oh, okay.
Don't forget, courtesy of genius.com for the
for Jesus. Yeah. So of course, you know, you're so generous, you know. So all right, let's go to the next section: production and beat. Alright, party people. Produced by Shane Faber, Mike Mangini, and Ishmael Butler, aka Butterfly. Fantastic beat. You know, just at the beginning, you know, it starts with the bass. Doom, 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 doom. Ooh, it's amazing. I find like just when it starts with the bass line, it's just to bring you in, you know, come into our world, you know. Yeah, and after the horns, bum, 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 ooh, definitely a sweet beat. 3 samples deep. You would have expected much more. Nope. No, just 3. And it just shows like when you have someone like a good person on production or a good engineer, you don't need 12 samples for one song. 3 songs, Stretching by Art Blakey and the Jazz Messenger. Again, if you're into jazz, especially the Blue Note label, then you know who Art Blakey is. Blow Your Head by Fred Wesley and the JBs. If you're a James Brown fan, you know who Fred Wesley is. Not only that, but so many hip-hop songs basically just dip into James Brown, but not only James Brown, but everyone that surrounded James Brown. You know, like the JBs, also Fred Wesley. Food Stamps by 24 Karat Black, which is more of a soul group, like some really like deep 70s soul music. One thing that I really enjoy is the fact that it was sampled 15 times. 15 times. For a song that is quite popular. I do have to say that there's a version, well, not a version, it's a sample of The Game. He did a song with Ice Cube. It's produced by will.i.am from the Black Eyed Peas, and I really like what they used. I really like what they did with the sample, and also the usage is very subtle. You know, you really have to be a fan, and you have to appreciate Digable Planets to basically find that. Of course, all of that sweet information is basically we got it by on Who Sample, you know, get your information right. And production and beat, I myself am always looking for a perfect beat, and I give it ba-bum, bum. I got 5 on it. What you think about that, Mr. G?
I'm shocked. It's 2 5s already from Mr. Ron, Stingy Ron. You know? Oh, me, you mostly completed the whole beat production part. The only thing I would add, two elements is about besides the 2 people that helped Butterfly-ish produce that, and the Mike Mangini.
Yeah.
The record producer, it must not be confused with the Mike Mangini, the drummer of Dream Theater.
Oh, yeah.
Because they have the same name,
true.
you know? And
Totally different
this
genres,
Mike
though.
Mangini,
Totally different genres.
that's why, totally different Dream Theater, for those that know. And this dude has been producing for over 3 decades, you know? He started as a programmer and mixer from Run DMC and Def Jam. And he worked with Jodeci, Mary J. Blige, and Puff Daddy in the Puff Daddy days as an A&R at Uptown Records. And he produced many hit records for big name artists like Imani Coppola, O-Town, the Soulful Joss Stone, and his most successful hit beside the Cool Like That track album, you know, also it was the Baha Man, Who Let the Dogs Howl, who he's the one that was behind that, you know. And for the album Reaching from Digable Planets, he recorded the whole album on a Tascam 16-track half-inch and a Tascam console, and he used the MPC 60 and the MPC S950, simply raw stuff, you know. And as the other dude, Shane Faber, he was the go-to producer, engineer, and mixer for many of the 90s classic recorders in hip-hop. He was mostly for the native tongue. He worked with Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, Queen Latifah, Jungle Brothers, leaders of the new school, even with Diamond D and Beats My Key, and he was like the engineer, go-to guy, you know. So, and this is something also I want to bring the emphasis. It's like a lot of these hip-hop songs and classics, yes, it was produced by us, but we had some white dudes behind for the mixing, engineering. They were key elements, these guys, you know, because they believe in that kind of music and they work with that, you know, because it had to be mixed, engineered. This is a process that a lot of people neglect, and it's really important to have a great album, you know. And for the beat, you know, for me, it's the beat. It's got to be the beat. And this one wasn't enough. It was cool, yes, but when you hear the whole Reaching album, there was better beats to me, and I had to go with a 3.5 for this one.
Ooh, okay, my brother. All right, my brother. And now, for relevance and longevity. Has this song stand the test of time? I will tell you, I think so, and I sometimes I tend to treat this song, or even Digable Planets as a group, more as a jazz band than a hip-hop band, okay? What I mean by that is, it's definitely, you know, like another classic for our generation, holla, and, I always like to find out, how does the younger generation feel about tracks like that? So I'm doing my research, and actually it's basically a dad who is our age with his daughter, and he makes her listen to these old school tracks, and she reacts to it. And the YouTube channel is called Aaliyah's Precious Life. Okay, and this is another one that you could see at the beginning. Total confusion. Okay, total confusion. And she even asked her dad, she's like, "Why would you listen to this? It's so slow." And her dad replied, "Well, see, back in the 90s, you had different types of hip hop. You had a hip hop to chill. You had a hip hop for the dance floor. You had a hip hop if you wanted to think, Right now, I find the scene is a little homogenous, where like everything somewhat sounds the same. Of course, like you have a few cats here and there that are like trying to develop their own sound. However, I found like originality is not as important. Another point the reason why I find like, well, yeah, this band is still basically I would not say current, but they're still alive. They're still touring. I was actually watching a live concert of them in 2020. They still tour. They still make money. And Butterfly actually merged as a solo artist. But wait. Let's not get too excited. We're gonna come back for that. That's for sure. So for this reason, relevance and longevity, I give it a 4 on 5. What you gotta say about that, my man?
Yes, for relevance, like you were saying, Butterfly, you went as a solo artist, and with you created another group too. But Ladybug also, she went on a solo career, and Doodlebug too. And Doodlebug went under another alias, and they all had successful careers until they went back together in 2016, I think. And this song, it stood the test of time. It's still funky, cool, smooth as a track. Well, like the younger generation will say, it's kind of slow now. When I listen to it, it's because I was acquainted with it already, and it's really slow to pick up with the song, If you don't know it, you may disconnect, Now in this day of age, everything's so fast. Trap, rap, so it will be hard for someone from this younger generation to relate to it or to get hooked on it. And what's so amazing for relevance, this song was covered in a rock pop rendition by the New Dominions. It's a group in the 2000s that did it, and it was sampled over 15 times, like Ron mentioned already. And it's big names like The Game, E40, Black Eyed Peas, Camp Lo, Schizo, Pro Rider's Teacher. It's bands that you will never think would sample a jazz alternative hip hop group, to use in their music, because Game is gangster rap, E40 has his own style, Schizo is pure a hip hop purist, and also it was featured in the 2007 movie Freedom Fighters with Hilary Swank, and in a 2009 Tide commercial, and the 2015 crime comedy drama called Dope.
Yeah.
It was also showcased in miniseries and shows on VH1, HBO, Netflix. As far as relevance, it's really deep, and they went to win a Grammy for Best Performance by a duo or band, and it became a crossover hit. So for all these reasons, I'll go like Ron. I'll give it a 4.
Okay, fair enough, my brother.
And now for Powerful Impact.
Boom with the cannon! Was this song impactful? Allow me to retort, my dear listeners. Grammy Award for Best Performance by a Duo or Rap Group, okay, in 1993. That's something, okay? That's definitely something. Number 15 on the Billboard Top 100, okay? But that's not the reason why they were impactful, from my point of view. They were impactful because they were able to reach the alternative crowds. like the white people with dreads, hippies, kind of like your first wave of 90s hipsters, Also, I find that this song helped for a lot of people that were not into hip hop to see that hip hop is not about like guys talking about like their penises and how like how much they can flex. There's an art form to it, There's a certain how could I say, not a signature, but there's a certain clout to it, It's no longer unidimensional where you have like these guys with gold chains. Nope. You see Digable Planets, they're wearing normal clothes, they're on stage and doing their thing. Even though I find they have a very short discography, okay? 2 albums, 2 solid albums, might I add, really solid. And if you enjoy the single, okay, and you're not familiar with Digable Planets, because, on our channel, we always put a little, snippet so that you could, check out the song. If you enjoyed that song, definitely go check out the albums. Both albums, okay? I personally find the second album even better than the first one. But that's my point of view. And we're not reviewing albums. We're reviewing because I'm cool like that. I'm cool like that and I'm cool. And for that, I give it a 4 on 5. What you gotta say about that, my man?
Yes, I agree with a lot of things that you said. And the only thing is, both albums, they had a short repertoire, like they say. But the second album, I would recommend to the hipsters. This was more for the pro-black.
Yeah.
The second one was more Afrocentric.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
A lot of people that love the first one.
They got scared.
They got scared, or they're like, "What happened?" So it's still 2 solid albums. We will understand it more. And this song impacted the culture in which way? Actually, in many ways, like Ron said. But it paved the way to the alternative hip hop to be mainly accepted worldwide and among heads too. And the heavily use of jazz samples on the whole album also was a landmark, as Ish Butterfly said. He used all the records he had around him, and most of these were his dad's, which was a lot of jazz records. That's what he was surrounded. So for that, yes, a lot of rappers, producers like Pete Rock, Large Professor, Large P, they brought the jazz samples, but not to the extreme as that album. They used it a little bit, but don't forget they had the New York sound and everything. But this was completely jazz.
Oh yeah.
It was all the way jazzed up. Sorry, and. And what's more impactful, it's that they made the cut in Brian Colesman's amazing book, Check the Technique. That album, there's 36 albums that are dissected, track by track. So they made the cut, So for impact, I'll go with a 4, like Ron.
Oh, okay, that's fair. So what's your total score, my brother?
So for me, I came out with a 20 out of 25 with a solid 80%.
Oh, we're around the same numbers, my brother. I am down with a 21 on 25 for a grand total of 84%.
Really close.
Yeah, real close. So
we're on par.
That's right.
Even if you had 2 5s.
They were all well deserved.
Thank you for watching. Remember, this month we're giving away a limited edition Funko Pop Notorious B.I.G. figurine. All you have to do is subscribe to have a chance to win. Also check out our premium apparel store. We have original t-shirts and more coming on the way. You like cool artwork? Then check out 40 Years of Hip Hop displayed metallic posters. And our first official collab with 1804 The Movement. That's why we rocking the fresh caps and beanies. You can find all these links in the description below. Subscribe, like, share, and comment. Peace, and we out.